Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast. So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about something currently trending on social media, the creative industry, and especially among Gen Z. I'm sure you are all familiar with it. So, the topic is generative and real art. I'm Devi Erantelsona, and I will be your host for today's episode. Nowadays, just by typing a few words or prompts, a masterpiece pop ups within seconds. Efficient? Absolutely. But on the flip side, artists are speaking out. They feel like their work is being stolen to train this machine, and their livelihoods are starting to get threatened. This afternoon, we are joined by four incredible guests who hold completely opposing viewpoints. The first guest star is Haura, a content creator with millions of viewers. Hello, Haura.
Hi Devi, hello everyone.
Hello, hello.
And the next, we have Fluffy, a creative director from a leading advertising agency. Hello, Fluffy.
Hey Devin, hello everyone, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, and the two equally amazing guests on the other side are Sasa, an independent digital illustrator whose work have gone international, and Pasha, a conventional artist whose work is just impressive. Hey Pasha, hey Sasa.
Hello everyone. Hello guys.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Alright, let's look at the industry side first. For Haura and Lafi, we all know that in the creative world, time is money and client satisfaction is everything. But here is the big question. In the pursuit of industry speed and keeping clients happy, is it acceptable to set aside ethical issues like artist copyrights? Do you think the end justifies the means here? Lafi, what are your take on this?
I believe ethical issues should not be ignored, even when the industry wants to work faster. However, the use of generative AI doesn't necessarily violate artists' copyright. Speed and efficiency are important, but respecting artists' rights is also essential. The reason is that AI can be used as a tool to support the creative process, not to steal other people's work. For example, creators use AI to generate ideas, draft, or concept, which still require human editing and creativity. Therefore, the problem is not the technology itself, but how people use it responsibly. That is all from me.
Yeah, I agree with Lafif. In many creative industries, generative AI is already used not to fully replace artists, but as a supporting tool. For example, in content creation and advertising, AI helps us create draft, visual concept, or quick ideas that can save a lot of time during production. But even humans still edit, improve, and make the final decision. So the creative process is still controlled by human, not by AI alone. There is also data that support this, and Adobe survey show that around 83% of creative professionals think generative AI can support their work, especially for brainstorming and speed up production. This shows that AI is not always taking over artist jobs, but often helping them work more efficiently and explore ideas faster. So I think the important thing is not to avoid generative AI, but to use it with responsibility. If creators and companies use it ethically, AI can help the industry grow without completely harming artists. That's it.
That's a fair point from the industry perspective. Now, Sasa and Pasha, I want to pitch this to you. Historically, whenever a new technology emerges, like when cameras were first invented and portrait painters panic, artists always protest at first. But eventually, everyone adapts. So why should AI be rejected or feared if it's ultimately just another new tool? Isn't this just history repeating itself?
Okay, so of course, yeah, AI should be, be oppositive in the creative industry because it's different. It's absolutely different from artistic tools like unlike cameras or editing software or CGI. Yeah, generative AI it's can copy, it's imitate, and it can mass produce like creative works by using human made content without proper consent. Of course, this threatens us, not only jobs, but also the failure of human creativity itself. I mean, the reason, of course, supporters supporter of AI is often to argue that artists always complain about new technology. I mean, they compare AI to photography, which is like it's a different things. Cameras did not learn by stealing millions of paintings to imitate an art style. CGI did not replace actors completely. And of course, AI is different because its system depends heavily on data taken from human creators. Another major problem is speed and of course scale. Human artists is spend years developing skills, emotional understanding, or even their own art style, like basic anatomy or maybe composition. AI generated hundreds of images. It's in just seconds. Of course, maybe company prefer AI because it is cheaper or faster. Even the quality is lack of emotion. Yeah, because of that, many artists, of course, me too, is losing opportunities before they even have the chance to build careers.
And the evidence, history shows that technology change does not always function in the same way or produce the same impact. Photography, for example, transformed the art world by changing expectation of realism in painting. However, it did not replace painters. Instead, artists, particularly impressionists, adapted by shifting their focus to work, emotion, repression, and interpretation rather than strict visual accuracy. In this case, technology expands artists' possibilities while still preserving human authorship and creative control. In contrast, modern AI systems are generating more direct ethical and legal challenges. Organizations such as SAG-AFTRA have protested against the use of AI generated likeness of actors as studio may raise voice and facial features without fair compensators or consent. Similarly, many visual artists have reported that their works were used without permission to train generative AI models. Concerns are also increasing in writing, music, and animation industries. Some companies are actively experimenting with AI-generated scripts, voice, and design as a way to reduce production costs. This trend raises concerns that emerging artists, freelancers, and independent creators may face greater difficulty competing against automated system support by larger corporations. In the links, therefore, regenerative AI in the creative industry is not simply fear of change or resistance to technology. Artists are opposing a system that can exploit human creativity while reducing the importance of the human being. It prefers technologies still result or human skill and authorship, but generative AI blurs the line between assistance and replacement. If society accepts AI without strict ethical limits, the future of art might become less human, less original, and more controlled by corporations than by creators themselves.
Okay, so there's a fundamental difference is how this machine works compared to a camera. But let's fly and a middle ground. Would you guys in the con team be able to accept AI if its use is strictly limited to brainstorming, finding raw ideas, or creating mood boards, rather than being used as the final product for a commercial campaign? Pasha, let's start with you.
Okay, yeah, yes, of course, yeah. Many people, on the opposite, it's still can accept, limit AI usage if it is only for, brainstormings or, early references, not as the final product. The main concerns here is, it's not the existence of, AI itself, but instead the replacement of the human creators and the unethical use of the word. Most of the artists are not completely anti-technology. In fact, creative industry always use tools to speed up, workflows, like from digital editing software like Photoshop or Premiere Pro to, stock references. Because of that, some people believe AI can still be tolerated if its role stays supportive rather than dominant. For example, using AI to generate like rough concepts, color palettes, composition, or like visual reference, it's similar like searching on a Pinterest or collecting inspiration online. The creator, yeah, still make the final decision, develop the idea, and produce the finished work manually. In this situation, of course, AI it's like more like brainstorming assistant instead of replacing us. But how sometimes the opposition like becomes stronger, when they say like the company use AI as the final output, especially in advertisement, animation, writing, or illustration that normally it is required to pay artists. Yeah, so many critics believe AI replace the final production stage. Companies may reduce opportunities for humans like us in order to save money and time.
This middle ground perspective already exists in many industries. Some designers and filmmakers use AI generate image only during pre-production to communicate ideas quickly with clients or teams. Afterward, human artists still create the official final version. At the same time, organizations such as SAG-AFTRA and many independent illustration continue protesting against fully AI-generated commercial works, especially when companies profit from AI systems trained on human-made content without permission. This shows that the debate is not always AI versus human in a completely absolute way. For many people in the opposition, the key issue is whether AI supports creativity or replaces creators entirely. Therefore, many people on the contra sides might still accept AI within strict limits, such as for mood boards, references, or idea exploration. The compromise becomes possible when humans remain the main creator behind the final work. However, once AI becomes the final producer instead of a supporting tools, opposition usually become more stronger because it directly threatens artists' ownership, jobs, and the value of human creativity.
Okay, interesting. So, drawing a clear line on how its use could be a solution. Now, back to Haura and Latif. While we talk about efficiency and mood boards, there is a real anxiety out there. How would you answer to fears of young and upcoming illustrators who feel that the widespread use of AI slowly kill their future career prospects and livelihoods? What would you say to them? Lafif, go ahead.
I understand why many young illustrators feel worried about AI, but I don't think that AI will completely take away their jobs. In my opinion, AI is just a tool, not a replacement for human creativity. The reason is that AI still needs human ideas, direction, and personal style. As an advertising producer, I use generative AI to help me create visual content faster, but the concept, the style, the emotion, and storytelling still come from me. Essentially, AI was created to help humans. That is.
Yeah, what Lavik says is makes sense because in reality, many companies still hire illustrators, designers, and other creative workers even though AI tools are already available. In fact, many jobs today need people who can combine creative skill with AI and yeah, with their skill. That means companies still value human creativity because AI can't fully create original ideas by itself. A survey from 2024 also shows that many companies are looking for workers who can use both creativity and AI tools. So, actually, the industry is changing, but it doesn't mean human artists are disappearing. It just means the way people work is evolving. So, instead of being afraid, young illustrators can see AI as a new skill to learn. If they adapt, AI can yeah, what Lavik says is makes sense because in reality, many companies still hire illustrators, designers, and other creative workers even though AI tools are already available. In fact, many jobs today need people who can combine creative skill with AI and yeah, with their skill. That means companies still value human creativity because AI can't fully create original ideas by itself. A survey from 2024 also shows that many companies are looking for workers who can use both creativity and AI tools. So, actually, the industry is changing, but it doesn't mean human artists are disappearing. It just means the way people work is evolving. So, instead of being afraid, young illustrators can see AI as a new skill to learn. If they adapt, AI can actually open more opportunities for them, especially in today's digital industry.
Alright, let's today to the future of jobs. Thank you. Now, for my final question, I want to quick yes or no from all of you, along with your brief reasoning. Do you agree if the government creates a mandatory regulation requiring a map with AI watermark on every commercial work? Let's go around the table, starting with Asha.
Okay, so yeah, of course, we agree that governments should require made with AI watermarks or label on commercial AI generative works. Because transparency is more important. Like people deserve to know whether the product was mainly created by humans or generated using artificial intelligence. Like this regulation is like not meant to ban AI, but it's just to create fairness, like and honesty for both of the customers and the creative workers. Like one of the biggest concerns about AI is that audience often cannot distinguish or difference between human made and AI works. So without like clear labeling, companies could use AI secretly in advertisement, films, or illustration, while consumers are assumed the work was fully created by human.
Okay, brief opinion from Team Con.
Yeah, I agree with that point, especially for commercial works. I think people should know whether a product or a work is created by human only or with the help of AI. In commercial industries, transparency is important because audience deserve to know the process behind the content they consume. The reason is that transparency is important in today's creative industry. Adding a watermark does not reduce the value of the work. Instead, it creates honestly and helps audience understand the creative process behind the product. It can also build trust between creators and consumers because people know exactly how the work was made. That's it.
Okay, beautiful said everyone. Well, whether you are Team Promistar or Team Pure Human Soul, one thing is clear: canvas of the future is changing, and we are all holding the breath. Thank you so much to our incredible guest today, Thank you, Sasa and Pasha. And thank you, Lafit and Haura. Oh, and thank you to everyone listening. If you enjoy with this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and you're on Human Talks in the comments and share this with your friends. Until next time, I'm Jeti and Roxana. Keep reading, keep questioning, and remember, never let a machine do your thinking for you. Bye for now. Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.